Okay, so we're talking about halachot tzedakah, and amongst that halachot maaser. So now we're going to actually touch the halachot, the issues of maaser, which is always a common question everybody asks you. Should I give a maaser? How much should I give a maaser? Why should I give a maaser? And so on and so forth. So the question is, of course, is a person chayav, is obligated to give maaser from all the income that he makes, or the money that he makes? The answer is, according as the Shulchan Aruch brings it, that let's start a little bit out of order. Shulchan Aruch writes the following: Mitzvah min hamufchar. It's the best way to do the mitzvah to give chamishit me'arevachim letzedakah, to give 20% from your profits for tzedakah. We'll talk about those profits, a little later. Midah beinonit latet maaser min harevachim. To give, is to give 10%. Ve'anoten pachot, and giving less than that, mekayem mitzvah tzedakah ki midat ayin ra. He gives tzedakah, but not in a good way. So, right away, you could see that there is, even in that, there is different ways to do this. So the machloket the poskim is what is actually the source of giving, of the mitzvah to give maaser. According to minority of the poskim, not all of them, the chiyuv is midoraita of maaser ksafim, as it would seem like the Tosfot writes in Masechet Ta'anit in Daf Tet Amud Aleph, that it's the chiyuv is midor, maaser ksafim is midoraita. And there are those who hold that it's midarabanan, maaser ksafim is midarabanan, and you can look in Yoreh De'ah, in the Taz, in Shin Lamed Aleph Lamed Bet, over there. And the Bach on that siman holds that it is a minhag. It's a minhag, it's not a mitzvah, it's a minhag to give maaser, according to the Bach. But we need to emphasize that even though that those, mainly the Bach says that the source of that is a minhag, doesn't mean that the person who gives a mitzvah, a person who gives maaser, is just doing something, a light mitzvah of doing a minhag. Don't think so. Because somebody would say, hey, you know what, it's only a minhag, tabach, who lanu like tabach is a minhag, so therefore I don't need to give anything, it's no big deal. Don't think that. Don't think that. Because it's clear that the essence of mitzvah tzedakah, that's why when we were talking, even though the guys asked me to speak about maaser, I started with mitzvah tzedakah because mitzvah tzedakah is midoraita. Mitzvah maaser is a part of that mitzvah tzedakah. So you need to understand the whole mitzvah altogether in order to understand where it's coming from. Because it says in Sefer Dvarim, in Perek Tedvav, Lo te'ametz et levavcha velo tikpotz et yadcha me'achicha Etzion. Don't be stingy. Don't close your heart and don't close your hand, your fist, from helping your poor brother. Ki patoch tiftach et yado lo, de machsaro asher yachsar lo. And again, every time we have a double language, it teaches us something. Abet abedun, pateach, tiftach, aster, astir. So you learn from here, not only you should give, open your hand to him, mikol halev. Tiftach et hayad v'tiftach et halev, patoch, tiftach, double lashon. Open your heart and open your hand. Give. It's not yours. But, even though that unfortunately we have, we know that there's unfortunately a lot of people who are not doing well. And again, I'm not talking about, even those included. Listen, a person could be reckless with his money, and all of a sudden he goes on crazy vacations and buys houses that he can't afford and buy cars he cannot afford, and then takes another mortgage to marry his son off, and takes another mortgage to just pay for the photographer, and before you know he's underwater. So yes, he's still an ani. He's still supposed to help him. However, there are people who really are struggling because they just never had anything. And unfortunately, you can't give everybody. So that's why the halacha says that midah benonit is to give maaser. The midah benonit, you're doing good, but not the best, is to give only 10%. That's midah benonit. Now, so therefore we will see that the mitzvah of giving maaser ksafim is basically a definition that helps us to execute the mitzvah of the Torah in not the best way possible. So basically, mitzvah tzedakah, mitzvah maaser, and the fact to give 10%, it gives us it's just a general idea of how much you should give and how you should give. But don't forget, maaser is only 10%. They call it midah benonit. It's like, okay, no, you give 10%. No, okay. The halacha is Shulchan Aruch writes is lechatchila. You should give 20%. 20, rabotai. Now, so even though that, according to that, going back to what we said before, so even though we said that the source, according to the Bach, to give maaser comes from the minhag, but that minhag of giving 10% comes to actually explain to us and define to us a mitzvah midoraita. So don't take it too lightly. So the person who gives less than 10% is not mekayim the mitzvah Torah, even kemidah benonit. He's doing that b'midah ra'ah. It's called as ayin hara. You see, that's ayin hara. Ayin hara is a person who is doesn't want to give. Not ayin hara, magic, Ayin hara is like you're doing things in not the appropriate manner. So of course there is a halachic meaning and definition to the source of that chiyuv to give maaser ksafim. And that is, of course, for a person who is not doing so well financially. Okay, I'm not talking about most of the people that will never have said, "Oh, Baruch Hashem, I'm doing okay." Most people will not say that. Most people will always complain they don't have enough money. But we're talking realistically speaking. You could put food on the table. You could pay for your kids' education. Okay, you're not doing so well. You're not doing so bad. But if you're going to ask a guy, say, yes, I'm doing terrible. I didn't go on vacation for like a year. Things are bad. I used to have a 750 BMW. Now I just gave a Honda Accord. Things are bad. What do you mean bad? We're not talking about that. So the halacha is that basically, as long as this person is not anus, because he would like to give, but he's considered to be anus because his financial situation doesn't allow him. So as long as he's not anus, he has to give a maaser from his money to somebody who is more poor than him, or as we said previously, to be machzik Torah. And that is something that we need to work on it, because we always refer to the poor person. Oh, poor person, we have to give him. You're right, we have to give him. But we also are obligated, and it's just as important to give to Torah. Unfortunately, all of us were poisoned by secularism, that we don't view learning Torah as the top. We all were poisoned, especially in Israel. We're poisoned by that. If you're going to say, no offense, doctor, right? But if you're going to say, oh, this guy is a doctor, he's going to medical school. Ooh, medical school. And his brother, he's learning in Yeshiva. It's like, no, retard, learning in Yeshiva. Right? It should be the other way around. What does this guy do? He's learning in Yeshiva. He wants to become a Kli Kodesh. Ooh, he's a Yofi. What does your brother do? He's becoming a doctor. But we don't have it like this. We were poisoned We were poisoned. All of us. Even people who are in the yeshiva world, many times I find them to be apologetic about it. I'm like, what's wrong with you? How could you teach someone that the Torah is the Ikar if you feel that that's not what you should have done lechatchila? Oh, I gotta go do this. Oh, I gotta do that. What's it? You know? So of course you're gonna tell me always, you know, quality of life, quality of life. Ya habibi. If you want to talk about quality of lives, not a problem. Go outside of New York. Go outside of New York City. You know what? If you want to take a road trip, go to Rosebud Reservation, where it's a Sioux reservation. I think in South Dakota. Go see how people live. You come here, you're like a gazillionaire, not a millionaire. Go to Arizona. Go to Arizona. It's a nice place. Go and see where people live. Let's say when you drive to the Grand Canyon, on the right side, you see people living in caravans. They have like, I'll send you pictures. It's crazy. They take like an RV and they simply build around the RV. And it's in the middle of nowhere. And I'm saying, oh my goodness, I feel like Rockefeller. And that sensation that you have inside of you prevents you from giving money, but because I don't have it. And that's a lack of emunah, and of course appreciation, which goes hand in hand. So if we're going to go according to Da'at Rova Poskim, most of the Poskim, that giving Ma'aser was defined by Chachamim, therefore a person who is very tight with the money is exempt from giving Ma'aser, and he should give, should give a tzedakah for a person who is poorer than him, who doesn't have, he should give him. So that will be sufficient enough. However, it was defined to us by Chachamim that that's how much you have to give. Somebody once, I was collecting money for a person, and he said to me, she's a single mother with kids. Her husband left her. One of those things, divorced her, left her. I don't remember. It was like a few years ago. He says to me, I'll give money, but only if she's religious. I said to listen, she's Jewish. What difference does it make to you if she's religious or not? What? Non-religious people don't get hungry. On the contrary, maybe if this person and the kids would see that the only people who came to their aid, who came to help them, were religious Jews, maybe they'll think twice about the way they live their lives. Maybe one day they're not going to speak. I'm not even saying becoming frum, but maybe they would not speak so badly. When someone says, "Oh, this religious people, leeches, meeches, and peaches, and all this stuff," he's going to say, "Listen, what are you talking about? When my mother and I were poor, these are the only people who came and gave us money." I keep saying to you all the time. Everybody says, "Oh, Satmar this, Satmar that, oh, Satmar, we don't like them. It's Zionim, anti-Israel, anti-this, anti-that." Chas v'shalom, you'll ever be in a hospital. Chas v'shalom, you'll ever be in a hospital. Or somebody that you know will be in a hospital. You'll see that the biggest Bikur Cholim that is run by volunteers, women, that comes, it's ridiculous. Those people are crazy. There's these women, they have 5,000 kids each one. They come with buses. Right? You've seen them.
Oh yeah.
They come with buses, and they go and they distribute food, and if you want kosher food, they come and give you. It's ridiculous. Hot stuff, yes. It's unbelievable what they do. They don't say, excuse me, you're a secular Jew, and I'm not giving you. No, you're a Jew, I'll give you. So watch out what you're saying. Kol ha-posel b'mumo posel. So, but a person that he's not a millionaire. He's doing okay. Not great. He's doing okay. He's doing okay. The chuk tzat. He's chayav in giving maaser. If you don't have, you swamp with debt. Okay, so you're patur for giving maaser. You're not patur for giving tzedakah, but you are exempt from giving what Chachamim defined as doing 10%, 20%. But if you're doing okay, could be better. You have to give maaser. And we neglect that idea, that concept. And if we're going to paskin that maaser ksafim, giving money, is only as minag, even if a person who doesn't feel so comfortable is going to be patur, is not going to give anything, and therefore that minhag would only apply on a person who is wealthy and is rich and is so on and so forth. And lemaise, nobody will give. So I would stop here, because next time Bezat Hashem we're going to do about the famous question: if I give meiser, do I get rich? Aser b'shvil tit'asher. What's the story with that? However, I just want to bring you a different point of outlook about the whole mitzvah of maaser. Argument's sake, you're going to school, right? You're a dentist, right? You have a lot of student loans, right? Okay, so Bezat Hashem, you finish your dental school, you're going to owe about $400,000, Mazal Tov. Huh? A little less. Okay, fine. So a little less. Let's say $300,000, whatever. But you're going to get a job, argument's sake, that's going to pay you, let's say, $150,000, right? Okay. Yeah, you have a lot of debt, but you're making $150,000. Don't tell me, Rabbi, I got to pay my student loans first. You got to give myself from your money. You're not doing so bad. But until this point, you should have a good day.